Hi, preschool. We are going to talk about another character trait that we can use and should use each and every day. So far, we have talked about two already. We have talked about, do you remember the first one we talked about? Any guesses? Okay, the first one that we talked about was, show you again, using self-control, controlling yourself no matter where you are. And then the second one that we talked about, do you remember what it was? Being, it starts with an A, sounds like a, being, it's about being a good listener and a good watcher and a good thinker. It's about being attentive. That was our second one. Okay, and today we're going to learn about one more. Now, I want you to turn your brains on with me, high power. Okay, good. Because I am going to spell a word. Now, I'm going to warn you, this is a big word. And I'm going to give you a chance to guess what that word is. Are you ready? Got your ears being attentive? Okay. O, B, E, D, I, E, N, C, E. Do you know what I spelled? It's from a song that we've learned if you haven't got it by now. Obedience is the very best way. Yes, the word obedience, and that is a character trait that we all should have. And so we're going to talk about being obedient today. Now, first we're going to look at not being obedient, and that would be this big word at the top of our card here, being disobedient or not obeying. And we see here, does it look like this little boy Joshua is obeying his mother? No, it doesn't. It looks like she probably told him not to have any cookies or any more cookies, and he did not obey. He did what he wanted instead. He didn't use very good self-control, did he? Well, do you know a verse in the Bible? We've talked about this in preschool this year. Ephesians 6 verse 1, and guess what it says? It says, children, that's you, obey your, good job, parents in the Lord, for this is right. The Bible tells us, it tells you guys as little children to obey your parents because that is right. Now, does it say, children, obey your parents when you feel like it? No. Does it say, children, obey your parents only if they tell you what you like to hear? No. It says it's all the time, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. And Joshua was not doing a very good job obeying here. We cannot please God if we are not obeying our parents. So do you know every time you disobey mommy and daddy that you're displeasing God? You're not pleasing God. You can't please God if you're disobeying your parents. And we talked about a little bit about this and being attentive. Who else is it that you guys as children should learn to obey and to not disobey? We have grandparents. Maybe some of you have babysitters sometimes mommy and daddy get. You should obey them. Any teachers at school, the principal of our school, police officers and firefighters, you should obey anyone that has been placed in charge over you. You should obey them. And you should also, I have a question, how about in our class as your teacher, how can you obey me? Well, there's lots of ways, but we have classroom rules, right? We haven't seen those on the wall for a while because we haven't been here back to school for a little while, but we know we've gone over the rules. Don't talk when the teacher's talking. Keep your hands and feet to yourself. All those rules, we don't have very many, but they're important. And if you will follow those rules, that's a good way to obey the teachers at school. And we've also talked about obeying quickly and right away. That is the best way to obey. Now, we have a picture here. And what does it look like is going on here? Because this is obedience. This is the best way, not the disobedience we were just looking at. But it looks like mom and dad maybe they told this little girl here it was time to go to bed, and she's not throwing a fit. She's not laying on the floor screaming. She just laid down in bed like they asked her to do. She was being obedient. And you know what, preschool? I hope that you guys obey mommy and daddy when they ask you to do something. I hope you obey right away and you obey quickly the first time that you're told. We talk about this in preschool. How many times should Miss Jessica have to ask you or tell you before you do it? And you know the answer. It's one time. And the same thing for mommy and daddy. They should not have to tell you 3 or 4 or 10 times. One time, and you should do what they ask or told you to do. Now, we're going to talk about a few little things here where maybe we'll kind of make up something that might be happening and see how we should obey the best in that case. So let's pretend that you're playing outside with your friends and you are having a lot of fun. But mom opens the door up and she yells out, Paisley or Reed or Levi, whoever you are, mom says it's time to come in for dinner. What is the very best response? How about, okay, mom, I'll be in just a minute when I'm done. Is that a good one? No, that's not obeying right away. How about, is this good obedience if you say, okay, I'm coming, and then you turn to your friends and you say, ugh, I don't know why my mom has to always tell me what to do. That is not obeying with a good attitude. The best response is what? To say, all right, mom, I'm coming. You tell your friends, see you later, and you go right inside. That is the best obedience there. How about this one? What about if you're watching TV and you're watching your favorite show? Oh man, it's so funny. It's at a funny part. And dad says it's time to turn the TV off and go to bed. How is the best way for you to respond? Okay, when it's over, Dad. Oh, please, can I wait till it's over? Uh-oh, that's not using good self-control that we talked about. You know the best way to answer to that. The best response would to be, all right, Dad, click, and you turn it off. That would be great obedience, and that would be very pleasing to Jesus. Oh, this one might get you, because I know some of you that stay at school all day and you take naps. Oh dear, you are grumpy, and you do not like to get up when it's time to wake up. But how about in the morning at home when we go to school and mom and dad have to wake you up and you need to get out of bed and get ready for school. And mom and dad come in and they real nice tap on you, or they turn on the light and they say, all right, time to get up. Some of you don't like to get up. You know what? I have a niece and her name is Jocelyn. I've told you a little bit about her. A lot of you have met her before, but she's not a little kid anymore. She's in college, but do you know, oh dear, she does not like to be out of bed in the morning. She's kind of funny. She does this thing where she doesn't really like to even open her eyes very much. She'll get out of bed and come all the way down the steps. And I see her, and this is what she looks like. And she barely opens one eye. And I say, hello, good morning. Hi. She is not a morning person. But do you know, when mom and dad tell you to get out of bed and get up and start getting dressed or start getting your clothes on, you ought to obey right away, no matter how you feel, no matter how tired you are or grumpy you want to act. The best way to obey is to right away get up and start getting ready. So I hope today, while you're home, you've been home for a couple of weeks now with mommy and daddy or grandma and grandpa, and I hope that you have been practicing obedience like this little girl. And you know, if you haven't done very well, today is a new day that God has given us, and you can work today on being more obedient to the adults that God has put in charge of you, especially mommy and daddy. So work today on being obedient. Let's end with singing our song Obedience. Miss Jessica always forgets how it starts. So, all right, sing with me. Ready? Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe. Doing exactly what the Lord commands, doing it happily. Action is the key, do it immediately. Joy you will receive. Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe. And you spell it O-B-E-D-I-E-N-C-E. Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe. I hope you think about it and be obedient today so you can please your parents, but most importantly, you can please Jesus.